Hi, so I got a chance to start working on my Project 12V again. Picked up some Keps nuts which have built-in washer, pretty convenient, and they grip, especially with the aluminum. And I've now drilled 2 holes. Okay, there they are, 2 holes in addition to the power transformer holes. So there's the result, and I've tightened the Keps nuts in order to activate the PIM studs on the other side, top side of the chassis. So everything looks good, and I'm about to loosen these nuts to install my transformer on the bottom. Okay, the PIM studs worked great. They've gripped to the top side of the chassis, and I'm ready to put the transformer on top and tighten it down. Okay, at this point I've got the PIM studs pointing down with the Keps nuts on the bottom, and the Hammond is mounted. So my filament transformer is ready. Now I have 2 more PIM studs facing the other way, or rather pointing upward from the bottom of the chassis. And I have these Keps nuts attached just finger tight. So I'm getting ready to tighten them up, and then I can remount the isolation transformer on top. Okay, so I have the isolation transformer back on, this time with PEM studs and Keps nuts, and directly underneath the filament transformer. So I ran the studs downward to the top of the chassis, tightened up the nuts to fasten them, removed the nuts, and then put on the transformer and tightened back down the nuts. Next, I pulled all the wires through the grommets, except for the filament transformer, which has its wires on the underside where they're supposed to be. So this is going to come as a twisted pair to the filaments of all 3 tubes. Next, if I can get to it today, I'm going to go ahead and drill 2 3.5mm holes for the PEM studs that are going to connect this choke. This is the amplified parts 50 milliamp choke that Terry and I are trying. So I'm looking forward to that, and that shouldn't be too hard. I've got to put 1 more grommet in front of that to allow these wires to pass through. Yeah, I'll probably put it this way so the grommet can face inward. All right. Okay, just press fit this last grommet in here for the choke, and there's the PEM studs with the Keps nuts on top. So they've been tightened, they've gripped. All I have to do is back these nuts out, set down the choke, and stuff the wires through. So next, so there's the studs on this side, and I'm going to put the power supply board right here, and then of course the Class A driver board is going to be over here on standoffs. So I'm going to have to look at the hardware store to see if I can find some suitable standoffs, because I didn't order those from Mauser. I also need probably an upgrade on these knobs. So aside from that, oh yeah, and then again I'm going to have to drill right here, 1 more hole to drill for the entry for the AC cord and its strain relief, and then I'll probably have the fuse mounted maybe right here, something like that. I've already got 2 fuse options for my junk box. So yeah, these tube sockets, whether or not I use them permanently, I'm not sure. Were scrounged actually by a friend who took something apart and donated these Bakelite, brown Bakelite sockets to me, so I really appreciate that. These jacks are the old kind, salvaged, better quality than a lot of what you get now. That one too. I think they have G10 instead of plastic, dielectric. That's why I like them. Okay, I got all the transformers mounted on the amp, including the filament transformer underneath, the Hammond 166JA12 12-volt filament transformer. So the only thing left to do before wiring up this amp is mounting this, which is going to be facing this way in this quadrant of the amp, right underneath the choke. And then the ECB-A Class A board, approximately right there. So this is going to be pretty easy to mount. I can just get some spacers, really anything from the hardware store, and then use this hardware to mount it that I use for the transformers. However, this is going to need standoffs that I may not have. Ironically, I had everything but one screw for these computer standoffs, but I didn't really want to have screws like that hanging out on the top of the chassis over here, but it wouldn't be the end of the world, but I'll probably wait. By the way, this amp I'm building is a D-Labs design. So for more information, contact Terry Dayton at D-Labs. Thanks, Terry.